Construction is beautifully messy, and it is a fascinating area to study. Every project's different. You can build the same building multiple times and have it be a completely different experience every time. And that's what I love about the industry. I do want to emphasize that the product that we are selling is control. And it's hard to have control if you don't have full visibility. It's hard to fix what you can't see. So I think that's the underlying philosophy to focus on. And as you're evaluating software, and it's a difficult decision to say, all right, I'm going to adopt this software. I'm going to make this work. It's a lot of work to adopt a new tool and implement it in the first place. The philosophy that's driving this design, where possible, the true goal, it's control and it's empowerment. And that's really it.
How does ControlQore actually empower the controller and the accounting departments to work with the project managers?
So I've always described the project manager as the financial manager of a project. To elaborate a little bit, I look at the dynamic of the superintendent and the project manager. Those roles are just two sides of the same coin. And I would say that the superintendent role, they get to focus on the on-site day in and day out management as well as the schedule. They are the captain, the leader, and they really have a significant impact on the culture of their project. And the project manager, they manage the financial performance of their project. And so our responsibility as an accounting department is to empower our project managers with good information. They need good data, they need timely information, and we need to pay attention to the details in a way that we're not burning up their time with, 6 clicks per decision. And I say that if I have 100 invoices that I need to go through to make a good decision, and every time I look at an invoice for whether or not I should be approving this invoice, if I have to pull up a separate document management platform, or if I've got to pull up my managerial budget, or I have to have my commitment and then my accounting software so I can know how much I've applied or how much have I paid to against this particular payment application. I mean, maybe my vendor includes it in a schedule of values and they have that detail. But if you're like me, you learned that you have to question everything. There's not saying there's malice, but like records get mixed up. And so you need to have as much information available and in front of you as possible to be empowered to make a good decision, a good approval decision. And I think that's where we come in and focus our document management philosophy, tying together all of the relevant documents. If I'm looking at a single invoice, there's hopefully, depending on the type of invoice and the project and whatnot, but I would say hopefully, or more often than not, there's going to be a subcontractor agreement tied to that invoice or a schedule of values. There's going to be a budget tied to that decision. There's going to be possibly a lien waiver tied to that decision. There's going to be, a percentage complete tied to that decision. So there's a lot of different variables that play into whether or not I should be approving this invoice. And if you compound that decision by like every little detail matters in empowering our teammates to make a good decision and to not have it take 10 minutes per decision.
I want to emphasize JD has talked about, multiply it by 50 and the amount of clicks it takes to make the decision or to see the important details of that invoice. That is important because if a project manager has 100 invoices that they have to get through, that's a significant time crunch, even if you add 6 clicks. If you're able to reduce that to 2 or 3, or maybe even 1, all of a sudden their ability to get through 100 is 2-3 times faster. They still have the same quality of data. They're just doing it in a faster, more efficient way. That's really one of the most important things that we think about in ControlQore. How do we do this faster without sacrificing the quality of the result?